Okay, so I'm going to be talking about the Stamp Act and the Declaratory Act. So the Stamp Act was created by Parliament in 1765, which for the first time tried to collect money from direct taxation of the colonists. And this act said that all printed materials needed a stamp purchased from British authorities. And this was different than previous acts, because previous acts had been indirect taxation, which mostly affected the ports and merchants. But the Stamp Act, quote, managed to offend virtually every free colonist. So the Stamp Act scared the colonists because it made them realize that Britain felt like they had the power to tax them without fair representation. And it was the first great drama of the Revolutionary period. And an effect that this had on the colonies was that it unified them because they all felt the same way about the Stamp Act, which they were very opposed to it. So some things that came out from the Stamp Act were the Stamp Act Congress, which was formed of 27 delegates from 9 different colonies. And this was kind of an organized group trying to repeal or get rid of the Stamp Act. And another form of rebellion against the Stamp Act was called the Sons of Liberty. And it was formed more of merchants, craftsmen, laborers, and sailors, so working men who wanted to protest the Stamp Act. So they ended up marching through the streets and then being very violent and ending up beating people up and destroying property. And so both of these reasons, your Sons of Liberty, so both of these reasons were why the Stamp Act was repealed. But with the repeal of the Stamp Act came the Declaratory Act, which gave the British Parliament the power to tax the colonists whenever and however they wished. And so that was bound to raise more issues in the colonies because their motto was no taxation without representation, and they were not represented in the government at all. So overall, the Stamp Act was the first and only form of direct taxation in the colonies, and it outraged the colonists and led to the formation of the revolutionary groups like the Stamp Act Congress and the Sons of Liberty. And these groups led to the repeal of the Stamp Act, which started the Declaratory Act, which would lead to more issues in the future.